Welcome to Let's Get Spiritual. I'm your host, Annie, and I'm here with my bestie, Ashley, and we'd love for you to join us as we discuss all aspects of spirituality and wellness. So sit back, take a breath, and let's get spiritual. Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Get Spiritual.
Hey.
It's Annie and Ashley here, and we hope you're all doing well.
Yes.
I'm doing well.
I'm doing good. We just got back from a little mini
Little vacation.
Little
yeah.
getaway.
Yes. So we are practicing a little bit about what we preach today and finding some balance, because today was one of those rest days for me after all the fun that we've had the last couple of days.
Too much fun. I'm not used to being out in public that many days in a row.
That was a lot.
I'm really just out of it.
So this episode is about maintaining balance and boundaries.
Yes.
Some very, very important things that I think is literally the key to life and success, is finding that happy little place in balance.
It is, and it sucks because it's so hard.
It is, and sometimes I feel like that balance is like sometimes how the weather, like there's the average temperature for this time of year, but some days are in the 80s and some days are in the 40s, and then we average in the 60s. So the highs and the lows sometimes do kind of offset each other to bring us that balance, but there's a lot that goes into maintaining balance and like consciously taking steps. There's physical balance, which is like our diet and stuff like that. And then there's our emotional balance, which is like self-regulating when we have tough emotions that come up. And then there's the like energetic balance, which is what I specialize in at thehiddengemlv.com.
Yes, still plugging yourself.
Right? Yes. So there's different types of balance that we maintain in these different areas of our lives. So today we're just going to kind of breeze through some of them and why it's important to do it. So the last time we talked about maintaining balance in our chakras and why that was so important, because you saw what physical manifestations of imbalances,
and like how important they are and how they affect like how your life affects your body and how your body affects your life.
Like it's not two separate things. They're one of the same. So maintaining this balance is the challenge. It's how do we do it? It's important to know that we always have ups and downs. Like everything about life is ups and downs and sides and turns and twists and spirals. So we think back to our little clown guy from one of our earlier episodes. If you haven't seen it, go back.
Which one was it?
That was the vibrations episode where we talked about how you maintain an equilibrium. And that's a lot about maintaining balance.
Trigger warning if you don't like clowns. She already said it once. But
it's a little clown. So like the bopper clown, we have things that get us off of our equilibrium and life knocks us down, but we try to maintain that balance and bring ourselves back. So sometimes what that looks like is taking a rest day after being out in public for and sightseeing
once
for
you,
a couple
give
of
that
days.
Much energy out. Yeah, I think just being around people sometimes too is
it's an energy drainer. There's a lot of things that like drain our energy, and how we've always talked about like you have to recharge yourself. You can't go back out on a 40 to 50% battery.
Exactly.
When you've been drained that low, you know, so you have to find that balance of how do you get yourself back up to that. And if you don't, life forces it upon you. So like, I feel there's a lot of people who can relate to this, who are just hustlers. You're just always on the grind, always going. And you may have a great streak and get so much done and get so much accomplished, but then like you just get sick out of nowhere or just so fatigued and tired that you're like bedridden for like a few days or like way longer than you'd like to, because you are that kind of person.
It's just like a day or two and it's not something worse, but
so the key there is to find that balance where you know you've exerted a lot of yourself and you kind of go, okay, well, I'm at a point now where I should take a break. Maybe I don't want to, because I want to keep going. I want to keep doing these things.
Especially if you're on a good streak of being productive and getting things done and feeling accomplished. You just want to keep chasing that. But
and it's good to keep those goals. I'm not saying don't, but I'm saying find that balance and take some time for yourself.
Schedule a half a day in for yourself.
Yeah, and it has to be things that replenish yourself.
Facts.
Like we're going to go over what some of those things are. One of the main things you can do though is getting yourself grounded. Grounding yourself allows your little bopper clown to have more weight at the bottom. So when life throws you those hits, you're not so off balance and affected. You kind of have like sturdy roots. Like
you have a solid base.
Yeah, definitely sturdy roots implanted into the ground. So like if the wind picks up, you're not as affected. You're not going to fall over.
Exactly.
And we've talked a lot about how to stay grounded out in nature, walking on the sand, taking walks outside. putting
Just
your
getting
bare
some
feet.
fresh air up in your
Yeah.
lungs. Like,
Even if you just sit on a bench outside at work on your lunch
yeah,
instead of, in your car or lunchroom, or taking some mindful moments like that for yourself, that maybe only recharges your battery 15%, but it still adds to it.
It's better to add than to deplete. When I had a job, one of my most recent jobs, it was like briefly working in the office. We were actually right by the Township Municipal Park.
Yeah.
So we grown up in the same area our whole lives, so we know what we're talking about. Sorry if you don't.
Yeah.
But it was nice to go out on my lunch break.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about today on my walk, I saw this. Yeah. Taking those moments like that are so important. And I remember all the different texts and pictures that you would send me, because that
15% really does make a difference, especially on a work day. You're like, ooh, okay, let's go.
You come back with a little bit more pep in your step. And
most definitely. It kind of gets you through the rest of your day.
I definitely, when I go on my lunch breaks, I need to close the door. I don't like to allow work to enter that space. Yeah. I really try to keep my energy to myself in those moments, so that when I can replenish myself a little bit. Yeah. So definitely take a little bit of moments throughout your day to do that.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be just at work. Even if you're just a stay-at-home parent or something, if you can get 4 minutes to yourself in the craziness
if your kid's down for a nap, I know there's all these things to pile, oh, I should do this, and this that I couldn't do when the kid was awake, but also fit in there a couple of conscious breaths, schedule a sitter for a pampering day or a girl's day.
If you can, that would be fantastic.
Single dads too, make some bro time for yourself. If you have a kid that you're watching all the time, you guys deserve to make that time for yourself, and it only makes yourself a better person, a better parent, a better partner in a relationship.
Exactly. It's about getting that balance that you need.
Yeah. And the way to find that balance is you have to know what your boundaries are. So take some time for yourselves and write a list of what gives you energy, or what helps recharge your battery, and then do those things. Or I've learned a lot of how to find balance and just getting to know myself better, and what I'm looking for in a relationship, or what I bring to a relationship, or what I like in life, and some of my favorite things. And I've made lists of some of the things I don't like, and it's weird stuff on there.
Right.
But at the same time, it gives me it just helps me outline myself, and it gives me an actual if there's red flags that don't align with the things I'm looking for in a relationship, it's easy to
kind of knock it out.
Yeah.
Well, and balancing and, having those boundaries is unfortunately sitting with yourself and really thinking about the stuff that you want out of life, the stuff that you like, the stuff that you don't like. Like you said, sometimes it's weird stuff, sometimes it isn't, but you do have to have an uncomfortable moment of, okay.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yep.
I got to figure out the stuff that I need to figure out in my life to make it go the way I want it to go. So.
And that's not always easy. And sometimes we don't know where to even begin with that. And taking little steps is the only thing you can really do there. Is start small. So there's a lot of different ways to help balance our energy. And on the energetic level, the energy therapies, they're becoming more and more common. There's the old style ones like yoga that have been around for a while, acupuncture, Reiki, sound therapy, light therapy, crystal therapy, massage therapy, and halo therapy. They all, on an energetic level, help balance our energy out.
Right.
And then there's physical balance, which is maintaining a healthier diet. Not just like the weather. Sometimes my diet goes like that too.
Our diet was definitely.
There are times where I was great. Yes, I was great, doing so good, really just eating wholesome, really good foods for my body, and I felt it. And then, I went on a little splurge this week on our vacation, and I just let myself go and had no boundaries in that. But I do that knowing that I can bounce back quickly into my normal routine.
Exactly.
And we were on vacation, so of course you gotta splurge a little.
It was 2 days.
Yeah, live your life. Yeah, exactly. Well, I was gonna extend my little cheat week to a 10-day window, and I'm like, no, I'm going right back to it. My body cannot handle this. I am aware of how this is affecting me now, and I have to make those changes. I can't splurge like I used to. There's only so many. And I think that's another thing physically, what we need to do for ourselves. Not everyone has a diet that's great for them.
Right.
Everyone has to just find what does work best for you. And sometimes there's a little bit of trial and error in there.
Yeah, well, and that's
and slip ups and stuff.
Yeah, you can't be perfect about everything. on everything that you learn on a spiritual path is that you cannot do it perfectly.
No, exactly.
You're totally going to mess up. You're totally going to slip up on stuff, regardless of what it is that you're working towards.
Yeah.
Because you're still a human being. You're a human going through spiritual existence.
Yeah.
So
and it's
slip ups are necessary.
And that's part of the journey, one. And
Yes.
it's part of finding that balance and allowing yourself these slip ups. That's what balance and forgiveness is anyway
Yeah.
for me. Like I give myself the cred when I do the things that I am proud of myself for. And on all those not so proud days, I also am like, well, you still did okay.
Exactly. It's like you have
Given
to
your
give yourself...
circumstances, you could do better, better next time. But you still did the best that you could. Maybe not the greatest.
I was just going to say, you have to be able to criticize yourself, but in a loving manner.
Yeah.
Be like, girl,
it's tricky to
you
do
could
that.
do better.
Like
Yeah.
I went to myself like, girl, you really ate some food. Like I've never seen you eat before. I went hard.
Some stuff.
Yeah, I did. But also I deserved that. I went really hard for a really long time with eating really, really healthy stuff. So splurge. It's fine.
Exactly. You have to have that balance in everything.
Yes.
It's balance.
Yeah. So that's more of like the physical sense and finding like what physical activity is best for you to help keep your cardiovascular health in tune and all of that as well.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes honestly, granted, I do enjoy the benefits and the perks of working out because this booty do be looking good.
Yeah, get those squats in.
It definitely is. Thank you, Sean T, squatting and lunging my life away. But I also noticed it really just helps with my mental health more than anything else.
Yeah.
Like we were walking around the city and stuff like that. So there was obviously some physical activity going on, but it was not my normal, like get up and shake my booty with Sean T in the morning.
Yeah.
Also thinking why my weather is in a downslope. But yeah, it definitely makes a huge difference in having that balance and being able, and you don't have to go crazy and work out every day of your life.
But like definitely find a balance in there.
Yeah.
And it does help you feel better in your body and in your mind.
Very
some other ways to help your mind stay in balance is to kind of just release your emotions, self-regulate your emotions is something that a lot of us aren't taught how to work through emotions.
Exactly.
So we have to kind of teach ourselves. And most of the time we go the very toxic route because it's easy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not a teacher.
No.
That's not what I do for a living.
No.
So obviously I'm not gonna do it well for myself.
Yeah. So learning just how to, when you're upset, allow yourself to be upset, cry it out. When you're sad about things, be sad. You said you woke up sad today.
I did. I woke up in the middle, like at 4:00 in the morning, and I was just sad. I think I was having a dream, and it just like
I've woken up with the emotions that I've had it and experienced in my dream, and it carried with me. So I get what you mean.
Too much, and I feel like when you're an empathic person to begin with, especially if it's an intense dream, it definitely carries over.
Yeah.
So it's never fun.
No.
I literally woke up and I was like, I'm just sad.
Yeah. And it's okay to be sad. You don't have to be like 100% on point Ashley every day.
Hell no. You don't even have to have an excuse.
No, exactly.
You don't.
You just do you.
I think that's one of the things that our society does to us is it like forces us to come up with reasons. Like, I'm sad because of this. No, I don't know why I'm sad. I'm just sad. So.
Or like that you're not showing up as 100% of yourself.
Yeah. Like I'm just... Yeah.
It's not it today.
No, exactly. And I think that people don't give themselves enough credit and give themselves enough of that balance.
And that's where that guilt comes in, where like people are like, I have to hustle and get this done because expectations and deadlines and things. And it's...
Yeah, no.
Those are good. Setting goals are good, but like not to the point where you just stress yourself out completely. And aren't happy and are miserable. Like there's no gain in that.
It's hard to bounce back from that too if you do it too often to yourself. If you don't give yourself time to bounce back from that just crusty energy and feeling of overworking yourself.
It's hard. It's harder to get back to that balance because, and sometimes like our little clown man, you get knocked down before you even get all the way back up to balance. So you really have to learn how to keep yourself in balance in multiple ways. Other ways to do it are to like laugh, dance, sing, create art, like coloring, doing clay and pottery, mosaics, painting, playing an instrument, talking to a therapist or counselor, like literally getting, like that's an actual energy release. You're releasing thoughts and words that you're holding inside of you and you need someone to talk to.
Yes. And I cannot stress enough to talk to an outside source sometimes. Like friends and family are great.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do need that outside source to like give you that kind critique, tough love back. that sometimes friends and family can't give you.
Totally. And like spend time with the people who fill you up. It's not always family and some of your friends that do that.
Yeah.
So just some random, maybe it's a coworker that just like you said, is like a ray of sunshine, or is like that kind of person that you just love, that recharges you, basically. Things that recharge you and fill your cup is how you can maintain that balance. And another way to maintain that balance is to set boundaries in life.
I don't like boundaries. I like
boundaries,
them, but
they're
I don't
great,
like them.
but they're hard. So like the way I look at it is maintaining balance in our little clown man is adding more sand to his bag so that when life knocks you down, you're sturdier, you're more rooted, you don't get knocked down as much. And I think boundaries is like putting up a little fence around that guy.
The thing that I hate most about boundaries is that people always be pushing on them.
They do. And like that wind and whatever life force keeps trying to knock on them.
Always pushing on your boundaries.
And they test boundaries. Like, and that's how I feel like once I set boundaries, I always have things to test how well I set my boundaries. Like, oh, really? Universe is like, really, girl? So how, really? We'll
boundaries
try this.
are more about you than the people or the things that you set them for.
And it's really hard to maintain them. Again, it's easy to set them and say, this is my boundary. I'm going to spend more time for me. I'm going to give myself one night a week where I just do self-care. And then push comes to shove. The week gets away from you. Now it's a month and a half and you've done nothing for yourself. So it's really easy to go down that path. And it really comes down to just sticking to it and making that time for yourself. You are worth that time for yourself.
It's about having willpower and being consistent with it.
A lot of the time, boundary setting looks like telling a family member or a friend that something they've talked about is inappropriate.
Yeah.
Sometimes setting a boundary looks like
not being around a person altogether.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are the hard ones.
They are hard. Or really learning how to limit your time with that person. There's family members and friends that you just still always want to hold on to that relationship, but just love them from a little bit further away. It's hard. It's hard to do that. But it's good because it protects your energy more, and it sounds selfish. Like society wants us to believe that it's selfish to do that. And I felt that too in my own personal, I was really overextending myself one week and I said, this weekend is for me. I'm not spending time with anyone other than myself. I really need to recharge. Like I've overcommitted myself throughout this week. And then the weekend came and someone was like, can we hang out? And it's hard for me because I miss them. I want to see them.
Yeah.
But I also knew that I couldn't. And
that you needed the time for yourself.
I could have. And like, that's what I was like, tore me up. And it also happened with my sister one time when she was supposed to hang out.
You were upset about that one.
I cried the whole way home. And I was like, but I know I have to do this. This is the boundary I set for myself. And I know that if I didn't stick to that boundary, I'd be more upset with myself because then I'd be more exhausted just from more interaction and people. And it's hard to figure out how to do it, and
it's hard to figure out how to do it and not feel guilty about it because it's
I still feel guilty about the boundaries I set. That's like a lifelong
you said
thing.
Is not hard. Setting the boundary, realizing what you have to do, it's the guilt that comes along with setting
when you actually enforce the boundaries. Enforcing the boundaries is the biggest challenge. Like, again, I could say this week I'm going to eat all good things, and then someone comes in with cupcakes. And it's over. Like, it's just over.
That cupcake is going in my mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's hard to enforce boundaries. And I think we just should be a little bit more conscious of it and practice it a little bit more with little things before we get on to like the big heavy boundaries.
Especially when it comes to setting boundaries with other people, because you can absolutely not control another person's reactions to the boundaries that you set.
No. So that's another thing.
Difficult.
Yeah. We actually like sabotage ourselves a lot when we focus on how we feel other people should act. I've learned that a long time ago. That was a lesson that people are never going to act as kind as I would in a situation.
Right. You can't put your own expectations of how you are as a person onto other people because you will be disappointed.
So like if you set certain boundaries, you also have to respect that other people may set boundaries with you.
Right.
And that you may not like it just as much as they don't like the kind of boundaries you're setting. But that's one thing we're all entitled to is boundaries about our personal space, about what we're comfortable with and uncomfortable with. Like, we don't have to live lives where we're constantly uncomfortable or in a state of like disorient and anxiety because of being in these like crappy situations.
Right,
like,
because of being worried about what other people think.
Yeah, and most like the easiest place that starts is obviously in a like toxic relationship, or people are afraid of what will people think if I leave? How will I ever start? And
I mean, girl, if we're getting real, it starts when we're like kids.
Oh yeah, it goes back to everything goes back to our childhood traumas.
Goes back to childhood.
It does. It's crazy. We have a whole episode probably on childhood traumas coming in the future. But yeah, setting boundaries. The childhood traumas are basically the formations of how we learn how to deal with emotions. And again, a lot of us and a lot of our parents, no one was equipped. No one taught us. No one taught them. Yeah. Like, we're all just undereducated in emotional intelligence.
Well, how many times does a parent make the joke or the statement of, didn't come with the rule book? Yeah, we figured that out.
Yeah, there is no rule book. We get it. But now we're learning what's working and what's not working. And setting boundaries is something that does ultimately work. Not everyone loves it, but you don't have to. It's not for you to love. It's for me to maintain my boundary. Exactly. Sounds a little sassy, but it is what it is. So, yes. I love that sound. That was basically it. I really wanted to focus on how important it is to do these things and how they are part of our spiritual path. Like, you can't honor your highest self if you don't maintain boundaries to protect your energy and to protect that self.
Exactly.
And if, honoring your highest self is finding out what your integral values are and what your passions are. And then anything that goes against that or keeps you from that are those things that you need to set boundaries for.
As long as you're not actually hurting someone.
Yeah, that's bad. Right, that's not. Yeah. And having integrity, like hurting people, doesn't fall in line with integral values. Exactly. That's definitely pure from the heart, love-based type energy. Exactly. And that's what.
Boundaries are intentional, but shouldn't be manipulatively intentional.
Facts. Yes. Agreed. Well, it's tarot time. It's about that time in the episode where we get a message from spirit, and we're going to take a few breaths first to kind of just get into that place of peace and calm. Yes. Let's find some balance. So we'll take 3 counts of a breath in and then 3 counts out. And then I'll ring the bell for 3 counts. And we'll start now with 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. And exhale.
Okay, cards are not flying out today.
They're not. You really got to work to shuffle.
I'm just like, I'm sad and lazy. So that's always fun to see how it turns out. Alrighty. Oh, look at the first one. Does look like sad and lazy.
It does look. Yeah, especially, you're not wrong.
Hopefully I didn't come off on these cards a little bit, but we have the 5 of Pentacles, but then we also have the 6 of Pentacles. I like that they're in order.
Yeah, and they're both the same.
I like that they're the same suit, and one is crusty and sad, but the other one is happy. That already makes me feel better. So
that looks like balance to me.
It is balance. Look, there's even a little scale, like a Libra scale.
That's amazing.
I said that because I'm a Libra. I don't know what the hell that's called. It's just a scale.
It's a scale.
But yeah, so we have the 5 of Pentacles. I feel like this is a light at the end of the tunnel kind of message.
Okay.
It's short and sweet, really, but if we have the 5 of Pentacles here, I mean, they look all sad. There's like, they got no shoes on. They're walking through snow. Like, if you are
they're
like
hunched
myself,
over, they're walking
like they're going through it. So if you're like me and
I think it's no, I'm not going to try.
No, there's no cheering for this one. There's another button on there, but we're not going to try to push it too much. So the 5 of Pentacles, I definitely feel like if you're kind of going through it, you're going through it. It's okay. Yeah. Like, acknowledge the fact that it's happening. You're going through it. But the 6 of Pentacles, like I said, it's happy. It's a little bit more, I feel like, especially because we got these 2 little shoeless, homeless looking people here, but they're getting a handout from the universe. It's like good fortune is on its way.
Things are balancing
out. Things are coming.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like the universe kind of puts you in a position before it puts you in a like exalted a better position.
I agree. There's the
pullback.
pulling of like the ball with the spring before it shoots forward, or an arrow.
I do feel like the message with these two pentacle cards is that if you are going through it right now, acknowledge it, respect it, have that moment with it, but realize that it is going to get better. The universe does have something really good coming for you, and will provide and will hand out that blessing that you deserve. But go through it. Yeah. Also at the bottom, we have the 4 of Swords, which is a reminder to rest and take some time for yourself.
Balance, guys.
I'm going to go ahead and say that one deserves to be in there too.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I kind of wanted to leave off with, is find some time to maintain your balance and definitely maintain those boundaries.
Yes.
And stay spiritual.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you all later.
Bye. Bye.